Billy Reeves here, Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Kscope podcast 2024 Roundup. We'll hear from Mike Vennart of Oceansize and Biffy, Clyro, from Nick Beggs, Kajagoogoo, Mute Gods, Stephen Wilson and Trifecta, Colin Edwin, once of Porcupine Tree, now of ORK, Amos Williams, the bass boy of Tesseract, Vincent Cavanagh, aka The Radicant, once of Anathema, Tim Bowness of No Man, Henry Fool, solo now as well, of course. New music too from Gleb, Kolyadin, ORK, Jonathan Hulten. But we'll start with Mr. Bruce Soord of The Pineapple Thief, the artist who has appeared on the Kscope podcast more than any other. And of course, as we've discussed many things over the years, this time, to start with, we discussed making a spectacle of yourself on stage.
I did a solo tour recently, and it was quite, I wouldn't say chaotic, but it was quite off the cuff, and I didn't really know what was going on from 1 minute to the next. So I would look down at this piece of paper, which was supposed to tell me, only that it was a big blur. And then I'd go, oh my goodness, I have no idea what is on that piece of paper, what's happening next. And then I think at one gig, someone in the audience lent me their specs.
So you've got so used to big touring, you're going to need a glasses roadie now.
Yes. So where is my tech bringing me my glasses? No, nowhere. So there I was. So by the end of the tour, I had a sort of stack of glasses somewhere where I knew where they were. It was like Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo. I'd be like, where's my glasses? Get them on. And it was like, fine, here we go. Oh, yes. Next song is take the glasses off. And because I want to see the audience. But then you look down at your fretboard and you think, oh, my goodness, it's all a blur. So you just got to up your game. You've got to be able to, sight play.
Another unconscious morning, a dawn I will never know. The coldest wind is turning beyond the point of no return. So hold me down, just hold me down before I do my worst. Another unconscious journey. Road I've always known, the way to take this turning to the point of no return. So hold me down, just hold me down before I do my worst. Fall into the ocean floor without a single movement more. You're falling with me. We're together in this hopeless hold. Together only we can know. You wanted to go at night. You wanted the ghost inside you. You wanted to feel its bite. You wanted to go at night. You wanted the ghost inside you. You wanted to feel its bite. You wanted to go at night. You wanted to feel inside you. You wanted to feel its bite. I hold you down. I hold you down, I hold you down before you do your worst. We fall into the ocean floor without a single movement more. You're falling with me. Together in this hopeless world. Together only you can know. fall into this ocean floor without a single movement more. You're falling with me. We're together in this hopeless hold. Together only we can know.
What a year it's been for the boys from Yeovil. The Pineapple Thief, that's called The Frost, from their current album It Leads to This. There's a special edition of that as well, plus a mini album recently which is called The Last to Run, a companion piece, a rockin' companion piece, and of course the world tour that they've been embarking on this year continues into next year. The New Normal is the 2024 album from Trifecta, to wit the three bohos from Stephen Wilson's band, Adam Holtzman, Craig Blundell and Nick Beggs. And I put it to Beggs that there is always an Eeyore, a Pooh and a Tigger in every band. And what would them be in a trio? Who's who in Trifecta?
I love that. That's really good. Well, I'm definitely the Tigger because I can't stop bouncing up and down. Adam is the Eeyore, and I'd say that Craig is the Pooh. You've nailed us.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think it's easier if it's a trio, I think, because everybody has to take on those responsibilities of being the Tigger, the Eeyore and the Pooh. What are the pressures of being the Tigger?
Wow, I like this. I hadn't even thought of that before. Which is being unrolled.
It's Confucian. It's Confucian.
Confucian. I love Confucian.
It's Confucian. There are a certain amount of pressures, I think, being the Tigger.
Well, there is for my wife. I mean, she'll tell you, and I am. I'm like, I had all the Sunny Delight. That's the problem, and all the Smarties. It's in my nature to be creative, and I've tried to teach that to my daughters, that if you get bored, because that's when you'll come up with ideas. When they were kids, they'd say, I'm bored, and I'd say, good, now go and do something with that time, because when you're bored, you'll create. Well, it's being a producer, isn't it?
Well, I think it's also I also think it's possibly the pressures are that you're responsible for morale.
That remains to be seen in many respects, because we haven't really spent much time together as Trifecta. It's all been remote, you see, of course. But I tend to be the one who is herding everyone in a direction. Everybody in a band brings something different to the table. It's either dysfunctionality or functionality, and both are equally important. Because while one is falling apart, the other one can be picking up the pieces.
Once around the sun with you, bring me back to life. Counting seasons as we go, turning dark to light. Atmospheric conditioning waved a weary hand, robbed me of the minerals. Time ran out like sand. Once around the sun with you, bringing me back to life. Count the seasons as they go, turn the dark to light. Now that you and I collide, our carnal bodies burn, fuse the heavy elements to make my life return. Once around the sun with you, bring me back to life. Counting seasons as we go, turning dark to light.
constant fascination of each other's loving tale. Once around the sun with you, bringing me back to life. Counting seasons as we go, turning dark to light. Man can do so many things. Man can go to war, but man can never quantify desire a quantum love. Just once more around the sun, with you I long to go. Once around the sun with you, bringing me back to life. Counting seasons as we go, turning dark to light. Once around the sun with you, bring me back to life. Counting seasons as we go, turning dark to light. Once around the sun with you, bring me back to life. Counting seasons as we go, turn dark to light. Turn dark to light. Turn dark to
Nick Beggs' charming love song to his good lady wife, that's called Once Around the Sun with You, Trifecta, a quartet on that one because guitar duties from Alex Lifeson of Rush and of course Kscope artists Envy of None as well. Now, one of the most exciting things that happened at Kscope this year was the signing of No Man's Tim Bowness for a series of solo LPs. So I started by asking the man from No Man what got him into music in the first place, and as you can imagine, when he was a very young chap and all of his mates were at Cubs and Scouts and playing football, he was out at post-punk and difficult jazz gigs.
And I lived relatively near Manchester and Liverpool, which were fantastic places for music when I was growing up.
You must have been the youngest punter in.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think one gig I went to at the Blue Coat in Liverpool, it was sold out. I think it was Jan Garbarek, and it got to myself and my friend, and we just got in. And the people behind us who were sort of, we were in our teens, they were in their 30s, were going, "We know more jazz than they do. Don't let them in." And luckily, the guards or the bouncers, they let us in.
Yeah, well, they obviously felt sorry for you. And two little lads.
Yeah, I'd like to think that they beat up the jazz snobs just for us, but I'm not sure that happened.
I could imagine them going, "God, blimey, we had angelic upstarts here last week. I'm not expecting any trouble tonight." And then you, Curly Tim, turns
Jan
up.
Garbarek, yeah.
Go deep, go deeper. Go deep, so deep I disappear. No sleep, just fever. Step off the line and block out all I hear. Silence the bitter angels. Killed all the cautious gods. I'm lost, and yet not lost. Stomach twisted at the thought of you. Lovers spawn in search of love. Stomach twisting at the thought of you. And you're all I'm thinking of. Silence the bitter angels. Killed all the cautious gods. I'm lost, and yet not lost. I'm lost, and yet not lost.
Tim Bowness from Powder Dry, that's entitled Lost Not Lost. Also signing to Kscope this year, I was delighted to discover Vincent Cavanagh under his nom de plume, the Radicant, the former frontman of Anathema. So I caught up with Vincent in the middle of his partner Sarah's latest art exhibition in a converted church in Islington. Now, Vincent has composed soundscapes for art exhibitions before, and he'd done that for this. And the Radicant project is designed to cover both worlds, both the exhibition space and the rock and roll space. So we had a long conversation about how one would combine the two. I mean, rock and roll was invented to get people drinking in bars, wasn't it? If you're going to then introduce it to the, you know, the art world, art spaces, whatever that means, that'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to, but it will be This project has to be adaptable as well. I have to accept that, like, you know, in certain environments, you know, I'm not going to get a drum kit going, and in certain environments, you know, there might be some places where it's just me on my own.
Yeah.
There might be some places where I can get an entire choir, an entire string section, and like a bunch of musicians together and do the whole thing that way. So I have to be sort of modular and adaptive about how I present the music and the staging, and but that's
something for all pockets.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. It's an exciting way to think about it, really, because obviously everything I'm doing at the moment is pretty much grassroots. Like, I'm just starting off with me and my friends, and
no, that's a really nice way of putting it, actually, when it comes down to it.
That's essentially what it
debut
is.
album.
But I've got big ambitions for how it should eventually be staged and.
Well, you know what you're capable of, and it's your time, Vincent. The title track of the EP stroke mini album We Ascend by the Radicant, and we'll hear more from Vincent Cavanagh's project later next year. But now Colin Edwin, our friend from Porcupine Tree, his band ORK have been putting out singles towards the end of this year, and they've also been learning all about what young people do content for the socials, and somewhat by accident, Colin went viral recently.
I was recording one of the songs, and I just, with no thought whatever, you've got to sort of engage with people whether you want to or not these days, you know. So I literally just flipped the switch on my bass because it was a detuned song. So I'm tuning from E to D on the bottom string. Yeah. Technical, you know. And that particular reel, which is about 4 seconds long, last time I looked, it had something like 2 million views. and
it just goes to, well, it engaged with me because I'd never seen it. It really, it was like, what? Because you just imagine as a non-bass player, which, let's face it, is most of us, most sensible people don't play the bass. It just seems like such a heavy instrument to be able to do that with. I didn't even know there was such a thing, but obviously that's normal to you, is it?
Well, I didn't plan it. I just put it up there quickly, you know, as a I don't know, Instagram thing, and then it just sort of, I suppose it's gone viral, as they say. So I had hundreds of comments, you know, like what's that, man? Wow, how did this happen? What are you doing? And then of course you get the experts going, oh, I've got one of those, and oh, don't you know? And, you know, does this hurt the bass? That was my favourite one.
Does it hurt the bass?
Yeah, and then people saying things like, well, you should learn to tune by ear. You know, so it's sort of sparked a sort of bizarre debate. So I tried doing a few other silly things. I did it on another bass. Of course, the thing is that the bass is facing away from you, so you can't see what it is. So I did one, you know, the fretless version, exactly the same thing on a different bass. Yeah. And then I did some other silly things, and I just thought, this is obviously what people need.
It's true, all you say, the story of my life, I feel I'm well out of line, a broken fields, but I don't mind. Shut my door, run the line, don't turn around. Trust me, or kill me, or hang me, or hell broke loose. Sarah seals and never chose for me to say it all wrong. Shut the door, break the line, don't turn around. Yeah, down to the wire. Something's wrong, but let me know. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Shut the door, don't let me down. Something wrong, one more line, don't let me down. Shake on fire, our chances blow, don't turn around. Shut the door, break the line, don't turn around. Don't let me down. We get the fucking fire. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
The group are ORK, the track PUTFP. Now, one of the most influential groups among the Kscope cohort, I would postulate, are Oceansize. I Am the Morning even named themselves after an Oceansize song. Now, Kscope have picked up some catalogue, as we say in the trade. This year saw a record store day orange vinyl reissue of the mini album Home and Minor, and more recently a sumptuous 3 LP version of the classic Frames. Now, Mike Vennart, the main man of Oceansize, has gone on to a spectacularly successful career since Oceansize, notably playing guitar with Biffy Clyro, but inevitably I had to ask him if Oceansize would ever reform.
Well, no, because somebody's got to pay for a practice room for 6 months, and somebody's got to pay for a separate fucking tour bus for the drummer, you know. You know, just the right circumstances. Arctangent Festival have asked us every year to do it, and have made quite a generous offer. Unfortunately, it's not generous enough for us to consider. I get asked this a lot, obviously, and as over the years, I've kind of mellowed on it. I think, look, right, from day one until the very last day of that band, I was the romantic, poetic guy in the band. It was my fucking job to be the poetry of that band. So in keeping with that, I do have a overly romanticized, overly poetic hankering to see the band, you know, maybe play a glorious reunion show. But it's not realistic. It's not realistic on a great many levels. At least one guy is retired. So, and, you know, the kind of money that would make it reasonably enticing is just not there.
Still
Oceansize, from the Kscope Orange Vinyl edition of the mini-album Home and Minor. That's entitled Legal Teens. Now, I want to point you in the direction of a couple of singles that have just come out on Kscope ahead of parent albums, which are now available for pre-order, which are coming out in the next few weeks. Now, we're going to start with our dear friend Jonathan Hulten.
Once the ground was opening up like a rift in the world, standing at the edge of its abyss, staring down, I saw myself. Speechless, I heard a voice rising up at me, singing a rueful song, admonitions from deep within. The afterlife sometimes comes before we die. If you find yourself in the afterlife, while you are still alive, do not let your soul fade away. Don't let the summer ghost strain your face of hope. Don't let the iron grip of your heart make it rust away.
Most recently seen in the UK supporting the Cult. That's the singer-songwriter, virtuoso guitarist, animator and pop star Jonathan Hulten from his forthcoming album Eyes of the Living Night, which is out on the 31st of January, available to pre-order now. That's the single Afterlife. And also dropping a single, as they say these days very recently, is Gleb Kolyadin, the pianist of I Am the Morning, from his forthcoming solo album, which is called Mobula. This is entitled Glimmer. That's Gleb Kolyadin with Glimmer, which is out now. The parent album, Mobula, is out on February the 25th. We'll catch up with Gleb on the Kscope podcast shortly. My name's Billy Reeves. Thank you very much indeed for liking and sharing and subscribing to the Kscope podcast. Thank you very much also to editor Alice for the invaluable help putting these things together, and they're available every month. Now I'm going to leave you with this, if I may. One of the most mind-blowing things over the last year and a half or so has been the world tour from our friends Tesseract in support of their LP War of Being. They've been absolutely everywhere, and that tour continues into next year. Now, you may remember my chat with Vincent Cavanagh, aka the Radicant, at his partner Sarah's art exhibition, which happened in the summer, and there was a few Kscope chums there, including, taking a rare break from said tour, Amos Williams, the bass boy of Tesseract. I had to ask him what it's like being on tour, and importantly, what it's like being off tour. So I'm going to leave you with the musings of the wonderful Amos Williams, followed by the title track from Tesseract's War of Being. See you next year.
For all of us, there's always a family there that, in some cases, we were doing this before we met the family and then, or made the family. And in other cases, the family was there before they were doing this. So it's an intriguing dynamic. It's one that never really gets much consideration, I think, by fans and audiences alike. But also, I mean, it is part of your life, isn't it? You have to, it's your particular brand of human, this weird life that we have.
Well, it's not a bit by the same token. I guess there is a in any freelance situation. I guess that means there is time. You're not 9 to 5. You're not sort of like, you can spend more time with your loved ones and make it more precious, perhaps.
Yeah, I think if people are purposeful and mindful, you can make the time you have much better and far more meaningful and of intent, if that makes sense. And I think certainly I find myself always being able to create moments that are like core memories when I have my time away from touring and I get to spend it with the people that I want to spend it with, rather than, for me personally, it would be quite, maybe you wouldn't pursue those opportunities as much if you weren't being pulled away every, 5 or 6 weeks or for another 5 or 6 weeks. And so certainly absence makes the heart grow fonder, but I am looking forward to a couple of months at the end of this year where I can be in one place for a period of time and be an average everyday human for a while.
Yeah, be Joe Schmo for a while. Best of both worlds, I guess. Beautifully put.
nested into